Hi, friends. Welcome to another episode of Soaring Through Chaos. And the reason we do this is because we are in the midst of unprecedented change. We are in the midst of a pandemic, and every day something or the other changes. And it's never easy to predict what's going to happen next. There's the fear of loss of life, loss of loved ones, loss of jobs and business. Everything seems to be topsy-turvy and unpredictable. And it has caused a lot of division. People, divisiveness, people keeping distance from each other, not just social distance, but physically as well as otherwise. But amid all this, there are opportunities to grow. There are opportunities to find ourselves. And there are people who are doing that. So those are the people I talk to. One of them is somebody I met a couple of years ago, Sindhuri, and she just approached a group of us. We were a bunch of friends and cousins at the Thai conference, the Indus Entrepreneur Conference in Mumbai about 2.5 years ago. And out of the blue, this young woman, Sindhuri, comes and says, "Hi, I don't have company for the evening. Can I join you guys?" We're like, "Okay, please join us." And do you always do that, Sindhuri, or how did you decide that we were the right people to say hello to?
Hi, Shankar. I do that only when I have seen that the people I'm talking to are approachable and are seemingly you were having a very animated conversation about something, and you certainly look like the sort who would welcome a person into your group, and I felt that why not talk to you, and I'm so glad
Wow.
I did. Because trust
Yeah.
me, that would have gone really boring otherwise. The conference was like a day-long conference, and I am so glad that we met.
Yeah, I remember because I was on a long, going around South India, and I just come from the United States, and I
Right.
was not planning to go to any conference. So I had my kurta pajamas and t-shirts and all that. So I go happily in a kurta pajama and chappal, and everybody was asking me for directions. They're asking me where can I get water, and uh, where's the conference? And at some point, somebody asked me where's the bathroom. I said, even I am looking. Let's go look for it together. So it was funny, but it was so. I'm so grateful that you connected with us and stayed in touch.
Yeah.
And you seem to have done a whole bunch of things in your life. Can you tell us about the journey of your life, where you began and how you got into the work you're doing now?
Okay, sure. I'll keep it brief. First of all, it's such an honor to be here talking to you with someone who's got such a great body of work behind it, and I would just say that this is awesome that you're taking this chance to do soaring through crisis, soaring through chaos. I think this is really a moment where I'm a bit overwhelmed that you're giving this opportunity to people to bring out what they're going through, as well as see what are some of the commonalities. I'm sure you've spoken to so many people across the world, right? So first of all,
Yeah,
thank you for that.
yeah, well, it's so important that we have this open dialogue. People are sitting in their homes, many are anxious, many are concerned, and nobody really can tell you where the world is going. Not even
Sure.
Modi, not even Trump, because it's just so many moving parts. But we can
Absolutely.
create this community, we can really relate to each other, and
Sure.
at least give a sense of meaning and hope. So tell us about what keeps you smiling all the time, what gives you the energy to get going all the
Oh,
time.
wow. That's a great question. So, what keeps me smiling is the opportunity to interact with people like you, who are such high energy individuals, who are emotionally intelligent, who have a high level of enthusiasm for life. And I believe that my work allows me to interact with a lot of such people, and you know that really keeps me going, because ultimately in the week, if I've had 5 such interactions, that really gives me a lot of, I would say, opportunity to look forward to. One of the things that definitely happens, of course, a person's not smiling all the way through, but there are days on which you wake up and yes, there'll be like traffic, there will be, con calls, etc. but that is the mundane. What I look forward to is what are the opportunities that a day gives me, wherein I can literally bring value to what I'm doing. What are the opportunities in the day where I can be creative, where I can do something differently, and when I can revive certain things, right? So that is really what drives me. What gives me energy is the job that I do is something that I've been trained in, right? So user experience is fairly nascent. UX, CX, all these are all words that are fairly nascent here in India. Of course, across the world where you've come from, Shankar, in the Valley, it's fairly well known. The industry has been ongoing for a long time. Here in India, although it's fairly nascent, people's understanding of it is also very minimal as such. A lot of words are used interchangeably. So one of the biggest things that I do is educate my customers on what is really the value of customer experience, CX, as well as user experience, which is really how you take either a website or a mobile app and make it more human. So that excites me, and I'm very enthusiastic about what I'm doing. I think that's what gives me energy
And
overall. Yeah.
very nice, really nice to hear that. And has the pandemic changed anything for you? Are things different given that the whole industry has been shifting? In what ways has your work changed?
So has work changed? Not really, Shankar. Work has been there, right? There have been, of course, what I see, and the giant shift that I see is that what used to be face to face earlier is now like how we're doing this call on Zoom, right? Has now all moved online. So that entire trust building that earlier would have happened face to face, okay, is something that we do now online, right? That means sales cycles are getting longer, right? Especially B2B, because we do a lot of work for B2B clients. Our clients are taking slightly longer to probably evaluate and get things to fruition. That's one big notice, or rather one big point that we have noticed. Another noticeable change is that and this is interesting. Earlier, what used to always just come across as, okay, we've just got a website somewhere, or we've done some work online. Now people are becoming conscious of what they're putting out there. So what I like about it and how it's impacting my company is that it gives us a chance to show the value that we bring. For example, I'm a trained user experience professional, and I'm also practicing design thinking at the capacity of Agri. So what we do when we actually take design thinking or user experience to such clients is that we tell them that what earlier used to all be not taken care of, now you have to pay more attention to it, because everybody is online, all your clients are online, and they are going to ultimately interact with let's say it's an e-commerce website, and if your shopping cart doesn't populate with the number of items you've added, a customer isn't going to spend more than 10 seconds waiting for that update to happen. And if that user experience is not handled well, let's say the page upload doesn't have, let's say the page is taking long to refresh, or let's say even the person isn't able to edit the cart at the last minute when he or she is going to check out, that is something that's going to matter now as compared to earlier, because earlier everything had an offline interface. People could still do stuff, all right, a certain cart order didn't go through, we can still get someone to call and close the deal. Now all of that has moved to just online, and therefore that user experience is very, very fundamental. I'm seeing that change happening.
Yeah, I can see that now. What used to be, you could patch it up by going and meeting the customer, or you could
Correct.
make a phone call. A lot of that is reduced, and definitely no face-to-face meetings in many cases, or at least not, you can't do it as frequently as you could do it before. So that means the importance of UI, UX, CX is actually gone up. Wow, no wonder you're smiling all the time. So my question to you is, in 2020, um, I'm sure if work is increasing or you have so much going on, how do you keep up with your team? Because it's not easy to even meet team members, right? Or do you still meet at the offices? What is it like? over the last few months?
So this has been very interesting. This was today where we are at is overall in the team capacity that we are 6 members at Luxury. We're all on work from home. There are a couple of days in the week where I actually do go to office because some of the work actually requires me to go and check, server setups, etc. What we have managed to do over the past 6 months is we've managed to get this entire balance, all right? And this balance, it's elusive, yes, to say that we're doing everything is managed, online. It is elusive to that extent if you're, on a daily basis, if we actually take a look at work. My team, we used to earlier have a team huddle at 10 o'clock in the morning. So that has now moved to WhatsApp. All right. There are project management softwares that we are using for certain ongoing, app development projects. For all other work, we are constantly in touch on the phone. It has changed a lot of things. It has made me more disciplined as in terms of waking up in the morning and ensuring that, that 10 a.m. huddle, all right, we're now doing a call instead of, an actual physical meeting, right? So all of us have to be there. We have to meet up online at least for 15 minutes. That sets the tone for the day. That makes us, sit up and say, okay, today we have these 5 things to do, all right, or we have these 6 things to do. How are we going to coordinate it, right? So having developers on board, I have to go and meet them a couple of times a week, but the rest of the team functions out of home. Work from home is something I'm still recommending because our team basically is going to be using public travel anyways, right? I don't want to expose them to travel, not yet at least. And I want to ensure that they are safe, their families are safe. Uh, and as long as I can manage, I think this is going to be the way we'll function. They will require to travel only if it's really essential.
Very
That's
nice. So, Sindhuri, as you know, there has been a significant drop in productivity. That's what people are saying, even in the tech industry, even in industries which are normally, where you don't have to really meet face to face because that face to face interaction is reduced. From what you're saying, there does not seem to be any change in your case. In the case of Akshari, how did you manage to bring about that teamwork? What did you do?
Okay, that's a great question. I'm so happy that you're asking. So this was March second week when we were told that the situation outside is getting really tense in terms of people traveling, and it's not advisable to get staff working in out of our office. That's when I do remember clearly, all the backups were taken, and within a span of 2 days, we'd already got all our employees to move, along with their laptops, put all the work, given them backups, given them necessary, basic setup that they will use. But over time, what changed is no one was familiar with what it's like, to work from home on a continual basis, right? So there were experiments we went through. We faltered a couple of times. We then realized that, okay, there has to be it's like an orchestra where everyone has to, ensure that they do their bits well. If they are doing their timing, if they are doing their, overall, the depth of work that they get into, if they're doing that, if they're on point with that, then it all falls into place beautifully. Of course, I'm saying this now after having, spent these months. The experience levels we had was amazing because our team actually adapted very well. And I think I can trace this back to one of the visioning exercises we had done. So I remember this is pretty interesting. In January this year, okay, January 2020, we came up with this, and this was decided along, in one of the 10 a.m. team huddles. We had this thing where we said, okay, what are we going to do different this year? So I got the team members to come out with their family photos, with their, personal, pet passions. All right, what are they very fond of? Let's say a picture of a hobby, okay, a picture of them traveling somewhere, a picture of them with family. So I actually asked them, have you all done this? Have you all done a vision board at some point? I got like puzzled faces in response to my question. So I said, okay, we're going to do this. I made them sit down with me and I said, okay, you have 2 days, go pick up whichever favorite photos you have of all the favorite things you love and pick up something that you will look forward to in this year. And we did this envisioning exercise, and that's how I actually got to know who is part of their family. I got to see what is it that beyond work, what is it that really, excites them, right? We sat down and we actually made like individual vision boards for all of us, right? I made mine to start with, and that has stood by us even through this phase. It makes us feel like we're in this together, and I think that was I think it has bonded us so much compared to what we were at, before this entire pandemic situation. I think over the months, I think the team has imbibed that there is a collective vision that we're working towards, and excellence is part of the vision. Expertise, as in each of them has to be an expert at what they're doing, right? Starting in Jan, they may not have been like they may not have been a 9 on 10, right? They might have been at 6 or 6.5, but now I can clearly see in terms of quality and in terms of overall productivity, they're inching towards 8.5, 9, and that's so encouraging to see.
So can we have a look at your whole visioning exercise?
I yes, I yeah. So it might look a little amateurish because we actually just did this as part of a personal exercise. Um, the vision we have as a team is different. This is my personal vision board, and my vision for this year is that I only will ensure that there are good vibes around me. I will ensure that whatever I do, I bring the best of myself to it. So yes, choose joy. That's one of my goals this year. Spiritually, I do a lot of. So this is one new thing I've started this year. I take 10 minutes in the morning to meditate, and at the end of the day, I write a journal. Even if it's 2 pages, I just go on journaling for at least 15 to 20 minutes. So this is I think I'm clearly on a spiritual path with it, and I'm liking it. Can we move on to the next? Right. So like I said, good vibes only. That is a big focus this year. Um, in terms of health and fitness, I have, and we each of my team did this as well. Okay, I made them write. Okay, what is the ideal weight you want to be at? Okay, and what are you going to do to achieve that? So my ideal body weight is between 45, 46, 47 kilos at the max. And I believe I've been able to manage to stay on point with that. Health and fitness is a big part of who I am. So I intend to keep that going. So this is something that, inspires me. Having an active lifestyle, whether it means going for walks, doing some exercise. All right, so that's some pictures of my family and some of my friends. And my goal with this year is that I want to revive my friendships, and I want to ensure that I'm giving to my friends when they require me to be around, that I'm able to, share life with them. I'm able to share moments of joy with them, and that we're growing together. So that's in
Nice.
terms of relationships. So at least once in the week, I will pick up the phone and I will call a friend whom I have not been able to be in touch with regularly. And I'm so glad that during the pandemic, I managed to do that fairly well. Right. This is all right. So one of the things that Agri, has brought to me is the fact that we really bring UX, into every conversation that we have. So we actually put the user first, right? So what does that mean for me personally? Personally, it means that I am committed to bringing excellence in user experience in every work project I do. Now, the kind of passion that we have, has to show through in our work. So I'll ensure that no matter which project we're doing, I'll ensure that the team has picked up one new thing and implemented it every month, right? So that's a picture of me and my teammate Rutuja, and yes, there's Priyanka Chopra and Meghan Markle there because they're some of my favorite people, and I love what they have done. Each of them is different. Professionally, they have done diverse, set of things, and I really love the energy they bring to the work they do. So, yep. Vision for Luxury is that make it make it an international, brand, and ensure that all the work that we do is bringing a lot of value to the world. Also, yes, this is an important thing. I am on the path to, definitely, yes, you're running a business, so you want to make money. But for me, that money is going to have a direct implication. I want to ensure that no child in my area will go to bed hungry. So I want to do something useful in child nutrition and education, and I want to give back to the environment. So these are two things that I have taken upon me. I've joined CIIYI's group where we do constant work in these regards, and I'm very glad that I'm getting a chance to do that. Yep.
Wonderful, wonderful. It's great to see you. I mean, that the visioning experiment was not just about work; it was about
Yeah.
life, and it was included work life, home life, not just
Yeah.
about how to earn income, but also how you can fulfill your obligations to society, or how you can integrate that into your life. Amazing. So, given that this was done pre-pandemic, this was done in January, and then things shifted in March. Are you still
Yes.
able to meet those goals? Are you and your team, or have things needed to be changed a little bit?
I'm glad you asked this question because nothing's ever perfect, right? I mean, we noticed one big change, that travel was definitely there on each of our vision boards. Okay, so that's the first thing that changed. Second of all was we each of us had this thing where we want to do at least something that's adventurous, every now and then, which means we probably do a team outing. We either converge at a cinema. So all of that has definitely changed. So it's not like we managed to keep up with every aspect that we had put down over there. But what I see as a consistent point is that there's one integral element, which is introducing an element of fun. I think it's an often ignored element, but if I've managed to see the team that I have, and I've been very closely in touch with them, which is why I can tell you this. We ensure that we do at least one thing in the whole week which introduces adventure and fun in our lives. So, for example, last week I got the chance, a few of my friends, yes, of course, there was social distancing and we followed all of that, but a few of my friends organized just, a drive through at Yeur Hills, which is not very far from where I stay. And Yeur is a beautiful forest. We just did a half an hour trek up the hill, and then we did the same trek back. But the amount of energy it gave us, because when you're out in nature, of course, there are not too many people around, all right? There are cyclists, of course, there are very passion-driven cyclists who are there. And you know that there are some points where it's a little too risky to climb. So we did the regular thing that a person could do, like trek up, do a round, come back down. But that itself was amazing. So one thing I've noticed is, and my team, by the way, also takes a chance whenever they can. That is one thing that has kept us going very well in terms of enthusiasm levels, and I'm very happy about it. And I would recommend everyone that's watching, find out one thing in your week that you will do to add fun to your life. And trust me, that adventure, that fun is something that it'll make you curious. It will definitely get you to try new things. It'll make you push fear, because those are the things that will really, they're the things that will enable you to look beyond. Yes, there's like a lot of news which is depressing at many levels, but as long as you keep your consciousness only available to all the all those items which are slightly negative, and of course which the media is very well at highlighting, if you keep your consciousness only around those, then you're never going to be able to appreciate that you're alive, and today is the day that you've been given. So I think the biggest thing me and the team have managed to realize in all of this is we made it through summer alive. That's one. Our family is safe, our loved ones are safe, our friends are safe, and if we're all safe and we're all doing okay, we're all fine health wise, that's like such a blessing. I mean, that's so great to know. right? So I see that has been a constant, and I'm really liking it.
Yeah. I mean, so much has changed that even being alive is a big deal these days. And so that reminds me, when I was an entrepreneur, when an early entrepreneur, I used to get obsessed with my work. I would work almost all the time. If nothing else, I would have a business meeting and a business this thing. Even my children's birthday parties, I would call customers. So, but the negative side of it was that I did not vacate my head. I did not have that chill time. How are you able to do that? Are you able to find that work-life balance? Because I always looked at it, oh, that's like $200 lost per hour, or oh, $1,000 order could have been done. Maybe we could have written a proposal for another in a big jump, or all kinds of things like that. And they were very, very seductive. So many more things to do. How are you able to bring about that balance in your own personal life?
So, Shankar, that's a very beautiful question. I think it's very important for entrepreneurs to actually take a step back and take stock and look at what you're trying to point out here. Balance never happens, actually. Balance is very elusive. Okay, I can't say that I've balanced things. What I've managed to do um, is synchronize. That is the word I'd like to use. I've managed to synchronize lifestyle, all right, in a way that yes, work happens. We're doing a lot more than we would be doing pre-pandemic. I mean, for each client that we have, I've noticed that we put in a lot more effort, because we understand even they've gone through hardships. For them also, it's been, a difficult time to sell, so we have been in their shoes. We've taken on a lot of responsibility on ourselves. And a flip side to that is that we land up working a lot of, like major part of the day. That was the case in all of May, I would say, and mid June as well. And that's when I realized that no, we've got to take a step back and restructure, how we're handling this. And I'm very glad, touchwood, we are at a point where we are able to actually draw lines. So work from home, okay, actually blurs the lines between work and home, and a lot of us will know that by now, right? Um, there is just a natural tendency of, okay, let me just, finish this one extra proposal. But then I have realized while interacting with my team also on a daily basis, it's not easy for them. Like, put myself, like one of my teammates has a child about a year and a half old. Okay, at 6:30, that child wants attention from the mother, right? At around 7 o'clock, she has to go and cook for the family, right? Now these are human aspects, and if you don't see the human aspects of it, then you miss out a lot. And I would believe that I could tell you what works for me. I can't generalize here. What works for me is take cognizance of the fact that everyone has a home to go back to, even though they're working from home. There is a lot of responsibility, and especially because this, past couple of months, there's been no household help available. Maids are not available. Some of us have been lucky where we've got a little help, but not everybody, right? So I have to take that into account before telling my team, okay, complete so and so, and end of the day, I want all of this done. I have taken an approach which I've seen where, and this is really working, I can tell you that it's helping me as well to realize that at some point you have to draw the line and you have to say that, all right, today we did this. What are the what are the 5 things we were supposed to do? Did we manage to accomplish them well? If we did, then I just tell them, okay, it's 6:30 now, we will have to wind up. So we've now gotten into that routine where at 6:30 we actually start winding down, so by the time it's 7, we know that, all right, now everyone has a personal space that they need to attend to. And trust me, it's very lucrative looking at, working with newer clients and getting that extra proposal out. It is very lucrative considering there's so much traction happening in digital. But the point is only this, that if I give in to it, I would be doing that at the cost of my employees and my own personal well-being. So I've consciously taken a choice, taken a call not to do that.